Hey everyone, I'm back from vacation and I'm actually able to make videos again, and it was a really lucky coincidence that I was able to get back home on Friday because the chapter just released. I was not able to make a video yesterday due to unpacking, and actually a very lucky coincidence being able to hang out with some friends the same night. But here is my review of chapter 1019. Hope you enjoy. So when I saw the title of this chapter, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what I expected entirely. I expected something like a drill attack from Sasaki, but not at all what we got, and it was really cool, so I'm gonna get to that later. But I'm gonna throw out all the information that Oda shows at the start of the chapter, which is showing that Queen is fighting with Sanji currently, Zoro is about to get saved by the Minks, and Luffy is actually back in action and ready to head back to fight Kaido again. I'm not sure why Luffy's thinking of meat specifically, but that's always been his go-to healing, especially in Impel Down, which I feel this is a very similar vibe to, so I thought it was a pretty cool connection between the two. Now that Oda has established where the monster trio are, it's really cool because basically the rest of the chapter is this Franky versus Sasaki fight, and as I said previously, I did really enjoy the fight because it took me in places where I really did not expect it to go, especially with Franky as a character. I felt like it had multiple really cool moments, and when I say Franky as a character, I mean what Franky's fights have usually been in One Piece so far. Usually just kind of like fist fights where they're more war of wills than actual battling technique, but this fight I feel was really intricate compared to a lot of the other fights Franky has received in the series so far. So to start, back with the title, so that kind of threw me for a loop immediately. The Triceracopter title of this chapter, we see at the start of the fight that Sasaki is going to hybrid form because they're both, Franky and Sasaki, getting a bit worn down, so Sasaki is going a bit in, and instantly Sasaki's sword actually is revealed to be a drill-like sword, and then the spines, like the Triceratops spines around Sasaki's neck, starts spinning like not like the drill itself, and he starts rising into the air, and it's a bit surreal, but you know, One Piece, it's One Piece. What do we expect at this point? Oda could do anything and it would be weird and cool. Well, mostly, in my opinion. And I don't know, this is very weird and it is bizarre to say the least, but very cool twist because I expected this to be more of a slow brawl, and this was definitely not the case. It was actually a very fast-paced fight, I would say. So Sasaki starts drilling towards Franky as almost like a sort of buzzsaw that takes out all of the other gifters who are trying to protect Franky and get rid of the rest of Kaido's forces, and Sasaki just slaughters them. Like, he's literally slicing them in half in some of these panels. Sasaki then starts flying upwards once again and trying to attack the Franky Shogun with his drill sword, and Franky just says, "You move real weird." I did think this would turn to an aerial battle, which I think Franky is trying to be a surrogate for the reader at this point. We then get the classic Franky fight gag moment that usually happens in every Franky fight. When Sasaki tries to rush forward, he accidentally spins his Triceratops propeller the wrong way, resulting in him getting pushed back, and Franky is just like, "You definitely did not do that on purpose." And there's actually a panel that shows Sasaki blushing a bit, and when he responds to this and tries to attack, he says, "Can it?" Meaning he's trying to play this off as though, you know, it was definitely in his plan. Sasaki, using this move called Tricera Bullet, actually basically blows up one of Franky's arms, and while rushing forward though, Franky is able to suplex him, doing his classic move. And my favorite part of this entire exchange between the two characters is when Franky pulls out a sword and Sasaki just misses entirely, and Franky says, "If only I was better with swords." I think this is a really great moment for Franky as a fighter, because it shows that many of the Straw Hats have a weak side along with a strong side, which I think has been focused on many times during this arc so far. Specifically, the moment that comes to mind is Sanji calling for Robin to help him, which also gives me the idea that the next chapter will be the Robin and Brook fighting Black Maria. We then see Sasaki actually just breaks Franky's sword in half, meaning he's totally unable to use it anymore, and Franky has to resort to using the most powerful move of the General Franky's arsenal, which is the more enhanced version of the Kuda Burst, which is on the Sunny. He actually does hit Sasaki with this attack, but he's unfazed. He actually gets knocked out for a millisecond, but comes right back saying, "Don't underestimate the Flying Six." And he charges at the General Franky armor, and Franky is genuinely about to die in this scenario, but there's a really cool sequence. This is, besides the sword moment, this is my favorite like action sequence in this chapter, where Franky actually ejects himself from the Franky Shogun armor and uses the Radical Beam attack, which he used on Big Mom earlier to do quite a bit of damage. So, you know, since he does it on Sasaki, he's out. He's out for the fight, and Franky has won. And I thought this was a pretty entertaining fight. I feel as though Franky fights are usually rather one note, and this one definitely took me for a surprise. So I'm really happy with how this fight panned out. Now, I know many people would probably skim over the Franky fight in favor of focusing on what happens in the last 2 pages, but we have very little info on what's happening in the last 2 pages, so I'm not gonna just pander and kind of just really just kind of over exaggerate what's going on. It is cool, it is pretty cool, but I'm not just gonna be sitting here for like minutes and minutes like, I think it's this, I think it's that. But you know, basically what happens is we cut back to Yamato fighting Kaido, and it's pretty cool because Kaido says, "I went through a lot to get that devil fruit. Did you really think I just let you use its powers freely?" And we get the confirmation of Yamato's devil fruit, which is really cool because Yamato actually has a same kind of dynamic with how Luffy got his devil fruit. And Yamato says, "I only ate it because I was hungry. It was a real shock. All I wanted was to set sail, and now I can't even swim." And further talking about how Yamato's tried to kill Kaido and really just escape. And this line that Yamato says is just so cool. "Your shackles weren't the only thing keeping me here. If I abandoned this country, how could I call myself Odin?" And that is just, that's a really cool line, at least for me. I feel as though Yamato has gotten a lot of hype. Obviously, people love Yamato, but this is a really good chapter ending line. And now let me talk about the hybrid form. It's actually really cool looking. It reminds me a lot of Snake Man and Bound Man, actually, kind of with the kind of deity like cloud around it. And I've heard people saying that Yamato is this creature called a Kirin. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I genuinely don't know. But people are saying that because of the horns and the kind of cloud-like aura that's surrounding Yamato. And I could see it because it would be kind of a mythical Zoan. And that would be a definite comparison to Kaido, since Kaido, I assume, has a mythical Zoan. It's still just the fish fruit at this point, but I feel like there has to be something else to this fruit. That's really it for the chapter. I mean, we had a really entertaining fight with Franky. We got this reveal with Yamato, and that's really all it is right now. I am hoping that the next chapter will be the Robin Brook Black Maria fight and possibly more of Yamato, but at this point we won't know for 2 weeks, sadly, because the Olympics are causing a break for next week. So we got 2 weeks to theorize and pray for a Robin fight. Hopefully we can manifest it into existence if Oda doesn't. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this chapter as much as I did, because I feel as though people are going to sleep on this chapter, because Franky isn't the most like Straw Hat, you know? If it was Zoro or Sanji, people would be gassing this chapter up to no end, but Franky, I feel as though, doesn't get that much love as those characters, the East Blue one specifically. So I'm gonna give this chapter a solid, like a 7 out of 10. I did enjoy it, but I didn't think anything crazy happened. And I know that Yamato's Devil Fruit hybrid was revealed. We don't even know the name of it, but that is cool, but we don't know that much about it at this point. So I'm hoping we learn more about that next chapter. And with that, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to do the YouTube spiel, like, comment, subscribe. And I'm curious, what do you think Yamato's Devil Fruit is going to be? Because I'm kind of sold on this Korean idea. I'm not entirely sure the exact kind of characteristics of it that make it this has to be it. I remember a lot of people were saying it would be the Byakuya White Tiger to complement Kaido, who kind of looks like the Blue Dragon. But we'll see, obviously. Hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good one.